It's going for.
Basically.
It's going. It's going. We're gonna die.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna die?
Okay, so
That's
there is
why I
a.
was saying the entire time Batman was beating up that army of thugs. It's just he
Yes.
punches a guy so hard
He's
he
dead.
face plants into the fucking dirt,
Yeah, it's like that guy's dead. That guy's dead.
into the
That guy just died.
concrete, into
guy just
the
died.
concrete, and it's
That
like
guy
that
just
guy's
died.
dead. That guy's dead, and then he stabs a guy right in the chest.
Yes,
Like,
that guy's dead. Through the brachial artery, which very easily bleed out from that. Okay, so the show is on for sure,
Yeah,
for
it's
real
going.
right now.
I can see it. Yeah.
Oh, it's not
Okay.
going at full resolution though.
Oh
For some reason, the
no!
resolution's still down.
Who cares? A war is the highest resolution you'll ever need.
Yes,
A word
two
of wisdom.
240 is the best resolution. Who gives a shit? Because all you need is to hear our brilliant genius voices talk about our superior opinions to everyone else. Really, our opinions really are superior, and we have Forge on because he is a peer, unlike Cool Mod, who is a lesser. He's fucking.
Inferior.
We've really demoted him. He's just not up to snuff.
Well, we demoted him to not going to be on the show anymore.
Not gonna be on the show anymore. Yeah, he's permanently on double secret probation for the rest of his life. So speaking of not joining us in the sun anymore, Batman v Superman, Forge recently saw the movie.
I sure did.
Thoughts about it?
We also recently saw. We rented 2 movies.
What were they? We can get to that later.
One's fucking Star Wars.
Oh yeah, the new we saw the new Star Wars movie.
Which
Fine.
was a lot less Mary Sue. It
Oh,
was
you
way
finally
better.
saw it.
It was way
Yes.
better than I ever anticipated it would be.
Yeah, I liked it. I actually did like it.
I was anticipating the worst movie ever, or
I was
rather,
anticipating something
Mary
acceptable.
Sue, the Mary Sue Chronicles.
Yeah, I was expecting some Mary Sue shit, but actually she was not really that Mary Sue.
I think
Should
she
we-
was supposed to be obnoxious,
I mean,
Yeah,
which she is.
If you assume that she's already been trained and her memory was wiped, then she's not a Mary Sue. She's already been fucking trained.
Is that some of the fan theory?
Well, the fan theory is that she's Luke's daughter,
Oh, well,
which
you know
makes
what,
sense
that-
because with the
that
end
would-
when you
oh,
see
know what,
him,
that's
she's like,
yeah, that's like some Coder 2 shit or Coder 1 even. Is that they fucking they
Kind of like also with the
Reference memory.
Starforge. Starforge, which is also in the movie. Starforge is just straight up in the
is
movie.
it a space version of me?
is Star
Oh,
no.
No,
no.
no.
Yeah, wait, there's a Star Forge from fucking Coder 1 is in the movie?
You don't remember that? The fucking
No.
entire Star Killer base drinks fucking energy from
Yeah,
the sun.
that's right. They took that from fucking they took that.
Good for that.
It's
Good
Ken
for
Stanton,
them.
Original good writer of the Star Wars movies.
Unlike fucking, that's the critical failure that fucking George Lucas originally made.
I mean, even if you take all the she's a Mary Sue, blah, 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 it's still a far better movie than the prequels.
Well, yeah, infinitely. The thing is, yeah, I remember like halfway through the movie, Finn is like gonna run away, and he's like, I'm not gonna deal with this. This isn't my shit. I'm out of here. And I'm like, so
He's
gonna be
booking
the
passage
chick.
onto a Star Cruiser.
She's gonna be the boring, perfect chick, but she's gonna run away too. And it's like, okay, she's not flawless. She actually has flaws. She has like actual characterization.
She
She
is
fucks
though.
up quite a bit. She nearly crashes the Falcon when she starts flying it.
Yeah, she's not a perfect. And also, there was one thing where people were like, oh, she fixes something that Han Solo couldn't figure.
She patches a circuit. Anybody can do that.
She rips out an unnecessary part that somebody added to it that she knew about because it was someone who was on her planet that stole the Millennium Falcon. So like Han Solo hasn't been able to find it, but she knew all this time that, oh yeah, the guy who stole it added a bunch of this unnecessary shit like this thing. She rips it out and it like the thing starts flying better and it's like, oh, okay.
The fuel compressor.
And
Fucking Harrison Ford killing it. Killing it.
Yeah, for the first time in years, he's
Happy-
actually acting.
Yeah.
He
Even-
actually seems to give a
You
shit.
Sleepy Grandpa woke up.
Grandpa.
Sleepy
Well, to be
Grandpa.
honest, I didn't think
Finally
he was
woke
that
up.
bad. He wasn't very good. He is Sleepy Grandpa in pretty much all of his movies, but I didn't think he was that bad in Ender's Game, which was a delightful movie, a good movie.
He was good towards the end when he actually had to like emote.
Yeah, and like there was actual plot developments that were interesting. because it's a good movie. It's a good movie, clearly based off of a good book that is pretty interesting, I would say.
Like,
A good book written
good,
by a pedophile.
a good writer.
It's
A
fucking-
good
it's-
writer who is
That's fucking
very
sad.
moral.
But I mean, hey, he has some opinions that are, you know, a little wacky. Maybe some that are okay about marriage. He has some ideas about marriage that, hey, could go either way.
He sure does like Chick-fil-A. He sure does.
He's a big fan of it. Well, aren't you too, though?
Yeah.
They're
Sure, same
delicious.
opinions
Their
that he
food
does.
is delicious.
Their food is delicious. It's fucking, I never. You know, we don't have Chick-fil-A where we live. I would like one because I
Yeah,
could go
no.
for a good Chick-witch.
Do you know what we got in the new Star Wars movie that we didn't get in Batman v Superman?
Good.
Is some fucking heroes.
Yeah, hero.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but like characterization. There's really no characters aside from. You know what though? I did not actually mind fucking Batfleck. The merest a
I
fleck.
was
of
expecting, I was expecting to
I
hate
was
him.
expecting to hate him. I didn't really. Not that it makes the movie's good. I mean, I kind of liked that he just murders a bunch of people with machine guns. It's like, haha, yes, kill those motherfuckers.
I mean,
with-
there's a difference between like the Tim Burton Batman who kills a couple people in self-defense
the most
and this gun who's just murdering people.
Just kills everyone. But this is
God
especially supposed to be the same universe where Batman refuses to kill anyone, even the Joker.
No, I don't think it's supposed. I think it's just supposed to be a new shared universe that's just completely starting from scratch with fucking Man of Steel, which was
Wait.
But still, there's no longer a Batman character. It really is just Murder Man. Murder
Yeah.
Man
Wait, this is
and
the
Captain
same.
Hypocrite.
He's supposed to be the same Batman as the Nolan Batman?
Well, how else would they
People say
fucking
that.
even whack that
Oh
up?
God!
I don't think he's supposed to be. But he
Well, there really is no justification. Plus,
No,
the
but
the origin is completely new.
He's producing. Nolan's producing the movie, so I think people get that mixed up. That he's supposed to be part of the same universe, but he's not.
Oh Jesus!
Especially because the dumbest thing ever in maybe the history of movies is right at the beginning of the movie that involves Batman, where the mugger, instead of like trying to break the pearl necklace or whatever, either grabbing for it in a struggle in a robbery or fucking just breaking it in the struggle in general,
That's gone.
that is replaced by perhaps the dumbest thing in the history of human thought, where the mugger pulls a complex Rube Goldberg puzzle, where he fucking slowly and gently pulls back on the necklace with the back of his gun, so that when he shoots fucking Martha Wayne in the chest for no reason, absolutely no reason except
Total thrill kill.
I'm a bad
And we'll
guy.
we'll get to the Marthas here soon.
Oh fuck! But yeah, and so he pulls it, and the slide on the gun pulls back, and that breaks the necklace. Completely like staged and choreographed by like fucking. It just looks like the fakest, most
And the
retarded.
thing is, Zack Snyder could have fucking done a fucking scene like that where it actually made sense. Where it's like in the struggle, speed up, slow down, fucking ramping.
Yes.
Where oh no, the gun broke the necklace. He could have done that with like close up special effects.
In the comic book, what happens is like the robber's arm gets tangled because, like in Dark Knight Returns, the actual comic that this is kind of based off of, he I think it's implied that fucking Batman's mom like lunges for the killer after he kills fucking Batman's dad, and then like his arm gets tangled up and like pulls on the necklace and it breaks. But then in this movie, he like lifts the necklace with the back of the gun with the hammer and lifts it up and then pulls it taut and then fires. It's just the most retarded thing I've ever seen until the fucking young Bruce Wayne is in a cave. He fell down the cave with the bats, and bats float around him so much he begins to fly wondrously like fucking.
They levitate him off the ground.
Yes, they lift. Apparently, that's supposed to be a dream sequence. We watched a fucking Chinese cam rip that was not very. That was filmed in the 3D version, so it was blurry and couldn't really hear shit.
Yeah, it was a dream. All this shit First of all, Zack
It's not
Snyder
necessary.
trying to do all these things for the Pearl shit. Fucking, he's trying to like, I saw 89 Batman, I can do that better. Then he saw Nolan Batman, he's like, I can do the dream sequence better.
Supercharge everything else. He's just trying to fucking do like the most ridiculously overwrought, overshot. It's sort of like when
They're all nervous about this fucking. I don't know how well the Batman movie did. I know it must have made some money,
It
but
made
also cost.
$800 million.
But that's
that's
it's
a
not a
horrible-
billion. First off, it's not a billion, and secondly, they
he
spent
said that the
400
entire
million.
franchise is going to be canceled if this movie doesn't make $1 billion.
Well, there was supposedly
Which
like a
it might as
record
well.
drop off the second week, like a
The
record
world's
race. Nobody
biggest
went
drop-
to see it.
Yeah, in movie history, the world's biggest drop off of the second week, and then the world's biggest drop off again.
Like, how did it still make $800 million then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they spent
Because they
$400 million on advertising.
Everyone had to go fucking see it. Everyone had to go fucking see this movie. I didn't. I didn't pay money for it. I downloaded a camera.
and I never will.
Yeah.
I saw Gods of Egypt, and it was bad. And then this movie.
But
and
did you
it
pay
was-
money for Gods of Egypt?
Oh shit! No, fuck no. Are you kidding me? Fucking Gods of Egypt was hilariously bad, but then you see like Batman and Robin, and compare it to this movie. Batman and Robin is
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, because Batman and Robin
Yeah.
at least was aware of its camp value, even though it was bad and tonally just fucking a complete disaster.
It actually
At
has
least it
Batman
knew.
in it, even though it's a shitty Batman. But at least it's still.
It wasn't
Batman.
Murder Man.
It's not
and Captain
Murder
Hypocrite.
Man versus Captain Hypocrite.
Yeah, it was an actual. It was supposed to be the '60s era Batman, so it was like a real Batman.
It was a movie version of the old TV show, which is
Which
fine.
Yes.
sucks.
But
Which
then
sucks.
they were
Both
still yeah,
suck.
which sucked. But they were still also at the same time trying to do the Tim Burton Batman, so the tone just
Yeah.
completely mashed with itself. But it's like at least that's better than like just fucking. And that wasn't even the worst part. If anything,
They just want
that
to
was
see who
the best
bleeds.
part of the movie because it was the least bad.
It was the most hilarious.
It's like
Yes.
Zack Snyder thinks comic books are for faggots, and he's trying to be like, no, I'm not gonna do this faggot shit. Fucking
But then he made
Pearls.
something that's completely equal.
It's worse.
It's worse.
It's something worse.
It's
There are
more
scenes like-
faggy.
But the thing is that superhero comics are pretty much shit, and I think they made something that was on par. Like that's why Batman versus Superman exists, is because it's a comic book called Batman versus Superman, where it's like they fight, and they do that because Frank Miller made it so that they're opposed to each other in The Dark Knight Returns. But they're opposed to each other because the way he saw it is that Superman, in his story, Superman is like an arm of the government, and so he works
which
directly for
doesn't
Reagan.
make sense because Frank Miller hates Superman, and
Yeah,
fucking
it's
Zack.
just-
You know who
that's-
else hates
yeah,
Superman?
it's-
Fucking
That's why,
Zack Snyder.
That's why he made. He like fucking saw like Superman as a representative of a corrupt '80s Reagan era government, and he was
Which
not.
doesn't make any fucking sense because Superman, he's
Yeah, that's
a
Superman's
hero.
really
He's
not.
supposed to set an example for people. He wouldn't work for a
But I
government
kind of
like
like
that.
the idea of it, of just like here's like if Superman was
It's less character assassinating than.
yeah
the
because
fucking-
it's
than
supposed to
fucking
be
Zack
like
Snyder.
Superman.
Still.
Superman is so for it was sort of like a criticism of American of like blind patriotism back in the 80s when that was actually still legitimately edgy and original edgy. But
Yeah, and-
I think that was the point of it, is that it was supposed to be like if Superman really was an American patriot, he would just do whatever the government told him to do, and he would basically be a fucking omnipotent thug or something. I think that's what Frank Miller was going for.
It's
And
still
Frank
better
Miller's an idiot
characterization,
because
though.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
still better
suppose.
characterization because he still
Well,
wouldn't
at the same,
kill anyone.
Frank Miller tries to do that, but at the same time, he shows Superman like being caring about Bruce while Bruce is trying to murder him.
Yes.
He's like, Bruce, your heart's giving out. You got to stop. And we don't see any of that
And
in
Superman
fucking
and
Batman.
Superman's gonna win the fight it doesn't matter. Superman's gonna win the fight, as opposed to Batman versus Superman, where there's none of this shit makes sense. Somehow Superman breathes in fucking kryptonite dust, and it wears off after less than 1 minute.
And
30
it's like,
seconds.
oh darn.
But
like,
then
fucking-
eventually he's just completely helpless versus Batman, who just has some power armor. Which
Why
Like,
doesn't he
in
make
that- in-
the
it just
spear?
won't happen.
He either Superman could just kill him instantly, or Batman should have killed him instantly, and none of that happens because the movie has to happen.
Fucking, oh, we're all over the place. But fucking, when the
Yes.
fight starts in Batman v Superman, all Superman had to say, like, wait, my Lex Luthor has my mother.
kidnapped.
That's it. 2 seconds. That's
Yes.
all he had to say.
But then he fights, and
Fuck-
yeah, like
just oh my, I'm fucking channeling the rage is coming back. Oh my god, fucking
just the anger of this movie.
the
I
part that. Go ahead. I'm
it
sorry.
probably didn't make me that mad, but I certainly thought that this movie was far worse than Man of Steel.
Oh my god, yeah.
This movie just does so many things wrong. Just like with Man of Steel. For me, that was actually Man of Steel. It just does so much shit wrong that it didn't need to do. And it's like,
Yeah,
I
it's
could have made
how
a better
hard
same
movie.
is this
time-
to fuck up?
Batman v Superman has now redeemed Man of Steel of all things.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a good movie.
Man of Steel
Yes.
actually is better. It comes out
Oh,
better.
that's bad.
Because all that happens is, and you know what the sad thing is, that they could have made like Batman versus Superman really, really good. Like, it had a lot of potential to be like, okay, here's what the movie's going to be about. Man of Steel ends with a giant 9/11 Holocaust where us Hollywood writers are so fucking stupid. Stupid ass Hack Snyder. That was a great idea.
But see, in the context of the
9/11
movie, there's
Holocaust.
nothing Superman could have done to stop it, per
He
se.
did help.
He did help. He's
You know
the
what
one who
acting
saved
could
the
have?
planet at the
He
in the
could
end.
have. He could have done something to stop it. He could have not stood next to the fucking skyscraper and punched fucking Zod one more time, blowing the skyscraper in half for that really awesome, cool shot. Oh, did you see how many buildings fell down? He could have
Amazing.
done that, but at the very
yeah, you could have
least,
more buildings blow up. That's cool. That's fucking badass.
special
more
effects, they go on
engaging.
way too long.
Do you remember 9/11? That shit was cool.
Did you ever hear of 9/11? Oh, I bet you didn't. Well, guess what?
But in fucking in Batman versus Superman, here's how it could have gone down: is that it would start with everyone's like, "Oh man, Superman didn't really do much to help." Like, maybe they don't have to blame him directly, but like,
He saved
didn't
the
help.
planet. He saved the
And
world.
then none of that shit should have even happened. He should have fucking pulled Zod back to Camp Farm. You can have your fucking fight. It doesn't even have to be on the moon. But you
he
can have
doesn't
your
have to
fucking
call
fist
him
fight.
motherfucker. When he's fighting Zod, he doesn't have to call him mother.
I mean, that's
Calls him
true.
he calls him a
That is
motherfucker.
100%
Motherfucker.
true, and that's Zack Snyder's fault. But at the same time, Superman,
is.
he did ultimately save the planet. One city destroyed.
It's
out
the
of-
only
as
reason why
opposed
there's
to
a
billions
statue
of
of him
people.
up, though. That's the
Yes.
only reason why there's a statue of him is because he saved
Yeah,
the planet.
and
everyone
that
hates
particular
him.
that particular point, Batman is a fucking retard in this movie. Like, he saved the planet. What would you rather him have done? Like, let the aliens take over? What the fuck is wrong with you, Bruce?
That'd be pretty
I'm shaking. I'm so fucking angry again. This fucking movie.
But they could have done the movie right by being like, okay, Superman was like either negligent or not fully competent in helping to save a bunch of this part.
Like,
But-
he just started being a hero. He doesn't even know how to fully control
Yeah,
his
so
powers.
people blame him and like fucking
But still, a lot of that shit just shouldn't
Lex
have
Luthor.
happened.
Lex Luthor comes in and he's like, this Superman guy, he didn't fucking do
Lex
anything.
Luthor's kind of justified.
And he uses
He just
that
wants
for
a
grabs
weapon.
of power and stuff. None of that happens in the movie, though. That doesn't even happen in this movie. Instead, he's just like, I'm gonna clone Zod.
Fucking, I'll get to Jesse Eisenberg. I haven't even started on him.
I feel bad for Jesse Eisenberg.
They wanted to hire Heisenberg.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
not his
someone's
fault, but at the same
hey,
time,
that guy from Breaking Bad, what's his name? Heisenberg? Oh yeah,
Heisenberg.
they lost.
What's his name? Eisenberg.
Eisenberg, yes. So they hired Fucking
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse
And he
Eisenberg.
acts like fucking the Joker the whole movie.
what's his name from Breaking Bad? Jesse or Eisenberg? Oh, Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, all right. We'll hire him for this movie. Okay. Bryan Cranston would have been a great Lex Luthor.
Yes. He would have
The
been an
scene,
awesome Lex Luthor if he didn't act
scene
like the
that,
Joker.
Sorry.
Yeah, if he didn't act like the Joker.
He can't
That's
act
what
like the
they were going
Joker,
for. They
first
didn't
of
know
all.
what they were going for. I have a theory that David S. Goyer, who has actually publicly said, I don't want to do Batman versus Superman because it's like the Wolfman fighting the Mummy. It's the official sign that they've run out of ideas. They had him write this, and I have a feeling he was like, I'm just going to make this retarded intentionally.
He could have also had it so that Zack Snyder interfered with the script. Because, I mean,
Yeah,
look at
I have a
the
feeling
Dark
Zack Snyder
Knight.
added
Look
more
at the Dark
carnage.
Knight versus this. The Dark Knight versus this. It's like night and day. You wouldn't even think they're written by the same
Night
fucking
versus
people.
day.
Night versus day. The
Well,
red
Chris
kicks
Nolan
are
is
coming.
actually a good filmmaker, though.
That's exactly
That's-
It's
that's the
either
difference.
Zack
But see,
Snyder
Zack
is
Snyder has
holding
made
him
good
back.
movies.
He's made good movies on accident, I think. I think that's all it comes
Well,
down
I mean,
to.
a lot of that's though. First off, that's probably when he had less fucking power and authority. That's probably when he was like, no, you'll do things this way.
Yeah,
And now
when he has to
he's
say,
irresponsible for some huge movies, and it's like, okay, now we're gonna give you free reign because you made 300.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
Like,
okay,
Like if he could,
and
if he
it's
could
an
stick to
atrocity.
manly like frat bro type movies like 300, I like 300 quite a lot.
300's a good movie, but that's because Zack Snyder simply put his stylistic visual stamp over a Frank Miller story. That's it. And the same for Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead's a good movie because it's a fucking the guy who did Super and the guy who did fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Jesse,
Oh,
Jesse Heisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg.
James Gunn.
James Gunn. James Gunn wrote the script for the Dawn of the Dead remake, and all that happened is that fucking hack Snyder simply directed actors in front of a fucking camera. That's it. That's all. That was his contribution. Oh shit. But yeah, and so he couldn't fuck it up. Just sort of like how you shouldn't be able to fuck up Star Wars. Somehow, some fucking bearded faggot managed
Least of
to
all
do
by
it.
its very own creator.
Shinzo's
Yes.
hirsute.
Well,
It's-
her suit kid. I have feelings to George Lucas. I think he gets too much credit. He's not really even the
Yep.
creator of Star Wars, I don't think.
Yep. Yeah, he
The
gets
scene,
way too much
the-
credit.
The scene that broke me was in the Senate scene where there's a wheelchair man and there's a bomb on it.
That was completely unnecessary. They were
But-
trying to go for some fucking Battlestar Galactica shit, I think.
It was just after the bomb goes off, he just flies away.
Yeah.
He
should
doesn't
have
put out
run
the
out
fire.
of there. He should have run out of there and be like, somebody did something. There's so many fucking scenes and issues like that throughout the entire movie.
Trying to
doesn't
go-
help the injured
they should
people.
have
He
done
doesn't
this.
put
Go
out
for
fire.
greedy
He
shit.
should have done this. He should have done that. By the way, one of the things I was actually
He
going to
just
mention about Star
fucking
Wars
leaves.
was just fucking what's her face, Ray.
Right.
She's definitely less interesting than the other characters.
Yeah.
she was good. I didn't hate her. I thought
Yeah,
I was
which I'm
going to hate
surprised
her.
by.
I
Very
did
surprised.
hate her, but she's just less interesting than the male characters.
Yeah, she's less interesting. She's kind of not allowed to be as interesting anyways because she's female.
It's not her fault.
Feminist.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
her
not her
fault.
fault.
It's not J.J. Abrams' fault.
Yeah.
Although he is apparently a big-time liberal douche.
J.J. Abrams really got out of the way stylistically for this movie, I noticed. There wasn't all the lens flares and shit.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's the movie.
Here's what you
There's-
want. It's Star Wars. We
there's
all
still
want
some
Star
style to
Wars.
it.
Here's some Star Wars.
Yeah, there's
And
still
Star Wars is
some style
wonderful.
to show off the action, and he shows off the action very well,
Is there a
and that's
store?
excellent.
There's a store in this game? What the fuck?
I don't know. I like Ray quite a lot. Her and Finn are
I-
great.
I did
characters.
like her.
They're
Yeah.
I like her. Yeah, I
I
like
like
her.
the Finn
but
more. I
she's
think-
not as interesting.
Finn had a
She
better
just
character
isn't
arc.
as interesting.
Finn had a better.
I mean, neither is Luke.
more
Luke is
interesting.
just the audience surrogate.
Yeah,
He's the
no.
fish out of water character,
Yes,
which is
he's
that's all
excellent.
she's supposed to
a,
be.
a
He's
really
still less
original and
of a
creative
Mary
way to
Sue.
do it too.
He's
I
still
think.
less of a Mary Sue than
Yes.
she is. Again, though, it's not
We don't
her
know
fault.
her. We don't really
It's
know all
not-
of her story yet,
It's
though.
not everyone. Yeah, that's actually There's a lot of hope. I'm actually kind of hoping for him. What the fuck? Oh yeah. I'm actually kind of hoping a lot more for Finn.
I'd
Maybe
like
we're
to
gonna
see
find out,
sort
like,
of Jedi this.
maybe there's some hidden backstory with Finn. They don't have to do a Luke, I'm your father bullshit with that, but
Or with
there could be a
anyone.
few hidden surprises coming up. Hopefully,
Yeah, it's like I'm looking forward to seeing the next movie. Holy shit!
I'm actually looking
Imagine
forward
that,
to
as
seeing a
opposed to
new Star Wars movie.
The Star Wars prequels, where it's like, oh, they're coming out with the next one. Ugh.
Did you see the trailer for Rogue One?
Yeah,
I did,
more
and
Mary Sue's
Eh?
all the way down.
that one looks even more Mary Sue.
It looked like fun though. I was interested.
Yeah.
It got my attention.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't be a
That's
bad
the funny
movie.
thing,
But
though,
let's
is
see the
yeah.
feminist reaction.
This is how easy it is to make an entire fucking franchise out of Star Wars.
Yes.
And George Lucas couldn't even manage that.
He was not competent. Have you seen the feminist reaction though? That was just enraging.
Oh God, for Rogue One.
Yeah, because they're like,
What do you expect?
we're loving this diverse cast. Look out, we're coming for your nerd things.
What?
It's like just some chick who's like obviously cucked.
That doesn't make any sense.
That is 100%
No,
what
that is
feminists,
how feminists
do now.
see anything.
This
That's how
standard
feminists-
operating procedure for feminism.
Yes, sop, which they are a milk sop.
Milk sops.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's retarded.
That's
And of
that's
course,
the
helps-
new
helps ruin
fucking
the movie.
narrative. That is the narrative from
and
now on.
I'm hoping at some point she just gets raped in the movie or something.
Mind raped.
Yes,
Ray almost
she's
gets
just
mind
being
raped
completely submissive.
by fucking what's his face,
Yes,
Kylo Ren.
that was one of the only questionable things about the movie is that like she's suddenly learning the Force, but I can still buy that as like something she's like all of a sudden being
She's
like,
probably
oh.
heard the stories about the Jedi mind trick, and that
Well,
she
if-
tries it herself. And the first time, it doesn't even work.
But if she
And
she
then-
fits at it, and she gradually learns,
And
and,
then
I
she
like
really
that.
finds it.
I like that scene.
I mean,
But
it has.
if it was a feminist character, she would have done it the first try, and there would have
Yes.
been no explanation, and it would have sucked.
If
would
it
have
turns
been
out
just
to-
fucking trash.
If it turns out that she had been previously trained, then his mental whatever he was doing would have just been the thing to break the seal on her memory block.
Yeah, I can buy that. I can buy that very well, and that I like that theory. But you can't really hold the movie to that because that might
because it
happen.
hasn't been established 100% yet.
Usually, fan theories are better than what the actual movie comes out with. I almost hope they change the movie to add that
Yeah.
because that would-
Even then, it doesn't break the movie, unlike say, fucking Lucas, where the basic story, the basic story doesn't work without fan film fucking
yeah. You mean
concepts.
that fucking Jar Jar was secretly a Sith Lord?
Yeah, stuff like that,
Did you-
which just
Did you
breaks the
see
movie.
you heard about that theory that Jar Jar all this time was secretly a Sith Lord, and you can physically see him using.
I remember
the Force on-
somebody and this is right when the movie was released. Somebody did a fan edit where they replaced all of Jar Jar's dialogue with
subtitles. They replace it with gibberish.
and they turn him into
Subtitle.
a wise elder who's saying like actually intelligent things. They remove the comedy element completely out of it.
Apparently, he's a funnier character than they've ever had, and they couldn't get him working.
Thing is I buy that theory. But I think after this, he had such the fans had such a negative that he just abandoned that idea, and it to the rest of the movie's detriment. If he had stuck to it and just gone all the way,
What,
I mean,
as
just-
Jar Jar being the Sith Lord or something?
yeah, just do
No,
something.
he's not
George.
nearly intelligent.
No,
enough to think
no,
of that.
you're giving Lucas way too much. This is the guy who made fucking Howard the Duck. He's not a
Howard the
fucking secret
fucking
genius
duck.
in any way. He wasn't even good at making Star Wars good. He made Star Wars a shitty movie. Somebody else had to go and turn it into a good movie on him. They had to rape his vision and turn it into a good movie against
Raping
his will.
his vision, which made it better.
Mhm.
I have this vision of fucking, you know, the part where Han like chucks a guy into the monster's mouth, just straight up murders him.
And straight up
Wasn't
killed
that
somebody.
the last of the original trilogy?
No,
this
no,
was
in the new movie.
Oh,
The
yeah, wait.
monster smuggling.
Just I can see George
Oh,
Lucas
yes.
just looking down, passive
Yes.
aggressively putting his head in his
Yes,
hands.
George Lucas would be
Like,
like,
Or rather,
Rather, no,
it's not my
he's
vision for Han
standing.
Solo. He's not a murderer.
standing there looking down, but he's not stopping it. Kind of like old black guy getting fucked in the ass by two sassy black women.
He's just being passive aggressive about it. Like, I guess
mean an
the
old
fans
white
want Han
guy?
Solo to be a murderer.
Like
I
an
guess
old-
that's what they want.
He's literally fucking Bernie Sanders.
He's Bernie Sanders.
Wow.
He has literally become Bernie Sanders, where he's just standing there as two fucking annoying black cunts are like, ew, yeah, we'll show you, evil white oppressor. And Bernie Sanders actually stands there with his hand over his dick.
What the fuck are you talking about?
that photo,
Same
that real life
thing.
photograph of fucking Bernie Sanders?
This
where the
real
two-
thing that actually happened
Yes,
that you
that real
should
life
know
thing.
about.
The two Black Lives Matter, black women with Black Lives Matter, like grabbed the microphone and fucking started chanting and fucking demanding, like, "You're the evil white oppressors," and Bernie Sanders just stood there. There's a photograph of it on fucking shit.
Like,
Shitty
what are they
website.
doing? Shouldn't they be on his side? What the fuck are they doing?
No, because he's white.
Well, of course they're not on his. Of course they're not actually on his side. That would be racist.
Well, then go vote for
He's
black
a white. He's a white male. He's a.
They were
fucking
black
white
candidates that nobody voted for.
Yeah, like
Male.
Cynthia
Well,
McKinney.
they also they're corrupt and yeah, Cynthia McKinney, exactly. They're corrupt, insane assholes. And no one would, in their right mind, would ever
Jesse
vote
Jackson,
for them.
also
But at the
Jesse
same
Jackson,
time,
fucking terrible candidate. But so is Bernie Sanders, and so is oh shit. But so is pretty much every
yeah,
Democrat.
they're all shit. They're all
even
fucking
Trump.
pieces
Even
of
Trump
shit.
really is pretty much shit.
He's
But he can't be
garbage.
stopped. But he
See,
can't be
I
stopped.
almost kind of hope that Hillary gets elected. Just fucking.
Just to
to
bring
flush
along
it,
War
to,
III.
to flush this. The country's already in the toilet. Hillary will pull the handle.
Just if Trump gets elected and he tries to do all this wacky shit that he'll never be able to do, and everybody gets mad at him, if anybody else who's an independent steps forward to try again, they'll be less likely to vote for him. Do you know what I mean? It'll
Yeah,
kill another independent's chances at.
Shit. I seem to be stuck in the
I
floor.
think that's already it's already way too late for that shit.
Yes.
There's really no hope left. All
Yeah,
we
I
can
think
do
the
is wait
country's.
for the
I think
fucking-
Colin Quinn
Fuckery.
actually says that the country is pretty much on its last legs. Like, this is what an empire looks like just before it dies.
No, I don't think
I don't
That's
think so either.
stupid.
But I kind of think it should
Colin,
happen.
go
Unfortunately,
fuck yourself, Colin. What the fuck?
what the
Well,
happened?
The country's fine. We just have fucking shitty choices this time. Wait 4
I
years
think
and try
Trump-
again.
I think Trump is actually the best choice.
That
Unfortunately.
and we have
yeah,
we
Trump
had a
really
shitty
is.
fucking
Trump is the best choice.
even under W, the country didn't tank. We're gonna be fine.
there's actually nothing really went wrong at all under him, except at the very end when the banks, the subprime mortgage lending that fucking Obama voted
Which Clinton actually instated,
yes,
and nobody fucking seemed to give a shit back then.
and Obama supported, and that destroyed the economy, and then they blamed Bush for it, even though he had nothing to do with it.
Not to
Clinton
mention
also
the
did a lot
stimulus.
that caused like all these fucking people being thrown in prison. A lot of drug laws and things like that.
Yeah, the drug laws,
non-violent
part of
offenders
shit.
being
That-
thrown in
and
prison.
that's why the fucking Republicans are just fucking cucks too.
He did that 3-strike bullshit too.
Yeah. They added the fucking the express lane for the fucking for executions in Texas, which is kind of funny at least.
I don't know. We have shitty leaders. Every country has shitty leaders. It's nothing new. The country's not gonna fucking Colin.
Well, it certainly
Fuck
didn't.
yourself, Colin Quinn. What the
Well,
fuck is
I
wrong
think
with you?
I don't think he's saying that it's going to happen in the next few years. I think he's saying that like every empire has a shelf life, like the fucking Roman Empire ended after. But I do agree that it's like, you know, America could, you know, like America's about to collapse. I think America could end up going on for another 1,000 years as long as somebody that's not a complete fucking retard.
Somebody's got to really come in. They got to step in, and they really got to change things if we're actually going to last. As a
Yeah,
country.
and we're all fucking big fat lazy slobs, and it'll take a lot to actually nudge people into doing something like voting for some independent that neither side like prepped for us to vote for, and or we'll start voting locally. We'll start voting for Senate and House and things like that, the shit that actually matters instead of the presidency, which doesn't really matter as much as everybody seems to think it does.
Yeah, it's just really just a big popularity contest pageant.
Things change, Colin Quinn, and it's gonna be fine. Fucking shut your clickbaity mouth, you piece of shit. Jesus Christ. What are you doing fucking panicking people? What are you saying shit like that for? There's no evidence for
far
that.
worse than that. I think he says that not as some kind of paranoid plan, but as like just a sad eventuality of all society.
It is
Look at this
every
sad,
society.
We've
droopy-ass
we've
fucking
definitely
old
seen
Republican
things
face.
get worse in our
If you
fucking
talk
neighborhood.
about
That's for
hysteria,
damn
though, David Cross and fucking Patton Oswalt
Well, yeah, exactly. And
we're openly saying that
Mark
like
Maron.
World War III is about to start because George W. Bush is president.
Ugh,
it's
I
like,
remember
no.
that shit.
Obviously
Well,
not.
Patton Oswalt didn't have a whole
that
many
he was
bits
going
on
to reenact
fucking-
the Book of Revelations.
Yes.
Specifically.
That was just. I don't think he was being serious though. That was just kind of.
No,
funny.
he was
No, he was
that's
dead
the
serious.
worst part is that he dropped the comedy act completely and got completely serious. And David Cross did the same thing where he was practically yelling at the audience, and it got really sad and awkward.
And that's why
It was
David
really
Cross,
awkward.
his career has fucking tanked because nobody fucking likes David Cross anymore.
Yeah, he's. I mean, there's no cuck like a liberal
Which
cuck.
I never did
That's-
in the first place, but still.
I kind of liked him in. Well, I liked Arrested Development. He was funny in that, and then Mr. Show, of course, is great. Fucking whatever. I've never really watched it, but I mean, Tenacious D was where where they started was on Mr. Show, but I mean, I still never really watched it. Bob
fucking
Odenkirk
David
is
Cross.
fucking Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, that kind of shit. But yeah, David Cross as a stand-up comedian is, I would say, among some of the worst in the modern era. Like with Dimitri Martin, or who's the guy who does the fucking Tonight Show now? Who's just the Jimmy Fallon. They're the fucking worst.
David Cross has a lot of contempt for his audience.
But he does it because he thinks he's being fucking like way too cool and hip and edgy for the room and shit, man.
I don't know if Bill Hicks kind of deserves some of the blame for that.
Yeah, I think he sort of does, unfortunately. I think Bill Hicks would be like that or worse today if he was still alive.
Look at Colin Quinn's wrinkled, stupid face. Look at this fucking asshole.
Colin Quinn's a great fucking comic and a great.
He's
talent.
a great comic, though. He is.
Is he? Is
Yes,
he really?
yes.
Yes, he's actually his
He is-
fucking one-man show is amazing.
Yes.
Oh, but it doesn't matter because the Republic is about to collapse and everybody's going to fight running into the streets and raping people and burning things.
I think his idea is that what he was saying is that it would eventually have to be reformed and made split into like smaller states or something.
It is. Our fucking country has been in a constant state of reform since it was founded.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Otherwise, it would have been. We still be wearing buckled shoes, Colin Quinn.
One of his other
retard.
points, though, about like because his latest stand-up special was about the Constitution, and he went back and like picked it apart and said, actually, it's one of the most genius fucking things ever in history is the United States Constitution, where it was completely original and it fucking did things that other country leaders were completely afraid to do. But then after it did, all of a sudden everyone wanted to do their own fucking United States Constitution. But no one else has ever done it as well. And the reason why the country is in shit right now is because everyone's completely forgotten about what the Constitution actually means. No one actually believes in freedom of speech anymore.
Oh yes, they
That's
do.
totally true.
Which, yeah, it's completely true, and no one knows that better than Colin because he's had other he's the one comedian who has had other comedians attack him for being too conservative. Because on Tough Crowd, where he would still have like Kevin Hart and fucking Patrice O'Neill on like on a daily basis, people would say, "Oh, this Colin Quinn guy is too conservative," because he would actually criticize like the anti-war movement and that kind of stuff. Where if you're fucking if you're fucking Patton Oswalt, the anti-crowd movement is like Jesus come back to fucking life, except better. It's better, and somehow it's fucking still Jesus.
Also, bear in mind, people have been saying that the Republic is going to fall tomorrow since
Yeah.
the Republic has started.
And
Yeah.
he didn't say that the Republic will fall tomorrow, but he's
No,
saying
he
that
said that it's on its downswing because
And
no
people
one
have been
believes
saying that
the actual value
since
of
it
the
fucking
Constitution.
started.
and it is basically on its downswing, especially if you live in a depressed area like we do. You can
Yes.
fucking see that going on pretty fucking hardcore. The entire country is in a depression, and we're afraid to even call it a depression.
Yeah, because Obama's president. So if you call it depression, you're criticizing him, which makes
You're
you
racist. You're instantly a racist.
And that's one of the things that Colin attacks is the dishonesty of people who accuse everything of being racist when it has anything to do with another race.
You know, that's that's one thing I was thinking about recently is, like, since Obama became president, race relations in this country have gotten worse.
Yeah, they've
yeah,
got
the racial.
He's
The
one of
one thing I
why,
love
really.
about the Obama
I mean,
era is all the racial healing.
Not
That's-
all of it, but
yes,
just
that's
like the whole
My
Black Lives
favorite thing about the Obama era, all that racial healing.
That really goes to show how completely failed the entire concept of liberalism and social justice is.
Yeah, just
They
it
claim
it hasn't worked, but it doesn't work, and it never will. In the
they
first
claim that with a fucking black president now.
Yeah, that everything was going to be fixed with a black president. Instead, everything got worse in every single way possible. The people, except sort of the economy, I guess you could say, but that's not because of Obama. That's just because the economy couldn't have gotten any worse.
Like, instead of instead of saying white people aren't the enemy, stop naming your kids Shaquana and go to school, he was just doing more affirmative action.
Yes. He completely
More of
that's
the
thing,
same.
He is a liberal Democrat, therefore he believes all that affirmative action shit that is completely harmful to natural business practices and the economy. Period. He's completely in favor of it, even if it's detrimental, because it's about feeling good. That's why he voted in favor of subprime mortgage lending that destroyed the economy, because he said, well, if we get rid of it, how will poor people be able to afford houses?
Instead of saying
Instead
poor
of saying,
people
okay,
shouldn't
let's
be
just
able
let
to
the
afford
economy-
houses,
Yes.
it's like, why can't poor people afford houses?
And then
You're not
just
entitled
collapsed,
to
and
a
he refused to
fucking
take it.
house.
And then liberals
Well,
will
not unless you're
just
fucking
straight up.
black person.
You tell a liberal that fucking Obama voted for subprime mortgage lending, and they will simply straight up with a straight face say no, he didn't. They will absolutely refuse to believe that Obama had any hand in anything negative. Period. But especially in stuff you can physically point to and say, "There's the evidence." They'll say, "Nope, that's a lie." First of all, they'll say that's a lie. Second, they'll say, "You don't know anything about this subject."
Or they'll have no
No,
idea
or
what
they-
you're talking about, and
Yeah, or they'll just block you on Twitter or whatever. But they get really fucking angry.
it's like what the fuck is that one guy's name? He's on the Anthony Cumia show.
Oh yeah, fucking yeah. That guy who is also a cuck, the cuck-servative,
Oh, what's his name?
Gavin
Shit.
McInnes.
Gavin McInnes.
Yes,
yeah.
I can't stand him, but he went to a Trump rally. I don't know if you've seen this video or not.
I saw that he posted a video of it.
He went to a Trump rally and he was talking to this bitch that was out there protesting. It's like, people, like 80% of women who cross the border get
That's-
raped.
they're
And like
easy to mock.
he's like, they get raped by other people and by coyotes. And she's like, coyotes, goodbye. She thought he meant actual coyotes.
The coyote, which is a fucking code
It's a
name
slang
for
term.
people who smuggle.
Yeah, the
Slang
smugglers, the
term for
fucking people
the people who actually
traffickers.
smuggle. Yes.
She thought he meant real coyotes.
It's like, are you?
Well, she was losing the argument, and she was
Yeah.
looking for any excuse.
Yes. Well, that's
Well,
that's
that and
what
she's an
we're
idiot. She
talking
didn't
about.
know what she
They
was
will-
talking about.
They will look for any excuse to instantly dismiss anything you're saying. So as soon as you say one single word they can use to dismiss, even if it's not even close to legitimate, that's it. They're gone. And they consider themselves as having won the argument, just like a certain character in a book coming out. I can't say soon, but it coming out eventually later this year for sure.
Not your
Yeah.
shield. Not your
Not
shield. The
not your
motion book.
shield, the novel. And I'm thinking, I came up with a great tagline It's she's coming for your safe spaces because that's literally what she does in the fucking. Well, I was gonna say the
Attacking
comic.
safe spaces.
Oh, but now it's the
destroy
novel.
safe spaces. This is wrong.
Yes. She literally infiltrates a fucking social justice safe space and fucking ruins everyone's lives. Just first of all with her presence,
Rape.
and then second they're literally slashed to ribbons, their throats cut by fucking the enemies that they would fucking pretend don't exist or would act like, well, they're actually not very bad. So you can see the allegory is just paper thin, of course.
Did either of you ever see RoboCop 2?
A long time
It's a
ago.
long time. I read the comic book.
Well,
Comic
fuck the
book.
comic book. There's a scene in
Comic book's
RoboCop
pretty
2.
much the same thing.
It's not.
No,
The-
it's
the-
Book's a
not.
fucking disaster. The comic book,
Not.
it's interesting, it's entertaining, but it is a fucking mess.
There's a scene in RoboCop 2 where they have to upgrade RoboCop's programming to fit with
That
the
was
modern
pure
times.
Frank Miller. That was
Yeah.
pure Frank Miller.
Frank Miller thought of that.
And they're like, why couldn't he just talk? One of the people on the committee was like, why couldn't he just talk to people instead of waving that big gun of his?
Yeah,
He's reprogrammed by social justice warriors, basically.
it's patriarchal. Yeah, that's the thing, is that RoboCop was the way Frank Miller wrote RoboCop 2, the screenplay, which they took and rewrote, but the way he wrote it is that the opposition to RoboCop, aside from the gangs and stuff, was eventually like liberalism, just leftism entirely. And
It's
so
a psychologist
and
that gets involved.
they cap fucking RoboCop by.
I mean, it's
making
not a
him pussy.
great message because the alternative is RoboCop goes in and literally murders everybody.
Yeah, RoboCop was originally based off of Judge Dredd, who was just like a parody of American Law, where he comes in, shoots everyone, and is like, "You engage into the fist of Dredd," that kind of goofy ass shit.
Judge Dredd, your face.
Suffered an emotional trauma. I will notify a rape crisis center. That's pure Judge Dredd.
And then he begins shooting everybody in the dick.
Yes.
Shoots
Shooting
50
just
people.
shooting hundreds of people.
50 people in the dick.
And one guy has like 2 women on fucking leashes, and his dick gets hard in front of RoboCop, and he just screams, "Do it!" And then RoboCop like shoots his dick 100 times.
It's a 100% actual scene in the movie.
That's for real in the movie.
It's the official lore of RoboCop.
The lore of RoboCop. He does absolutely for real shoot a guy in the dick. I remember when RoboCop came out. I was in like second grade, and some girl was like, "Oh, you see RoboCop? You see the part where he shoots a guy in the dick?" And I thought, they shot RoboCop in the dick, like his actual dick. That's weird.
Yeah, but he's a robot.
He's a robot.
No.
I forgot. I forgot, and I think I didn't see the part because Mom paused it out. Moon paused it out when she recorded RoboCop off of Showtime. She paused out the really violent scenes, which were the best parts.
Good lord, why would she even?
I
Why would she do that? It's like you could have a
Fundamentalist
10-minute
Christian.
movie.
She would have been a fucking big supporter of clean flicks. Let's say that.
You'd have a 10-minute movie if you did that.
She paused out basically the really big violent parts, like fucking when he got shot by the Ed 209.
Ed 209 and Murphy getting killed.
Yeah, which
Even
that
the
part
best
was
parts
so
of the movie.
fucking brutal, but I was
Murphy getting killed, I can skip over that. But Ed 209 is like one of the best things ever
in movie.
in cinematic
I
history.
think Ed 209
The
also
part where Clarence
He's very-
Boddicker kills the fucking
he's
guy.
something from
Clarence Boddicker, bitches leave. He shows up and
Bitches leave.
fucking Judge Dredd though.
So
The-
we
the-
aren't even talking about the thing we're supposed to be talking about
We were supposed to be talking about Batman versus Superman.
We keep talking about like actual good movies.
Let's think of the good movies that we enjoy instead of this fucking pile of shit.
Fucking, there's a part in Batman v Superman. Why did the mansion get burned down? Did they say?
They're going to fill that in the prequel.
Ah,
now. There's a prequel.
Yeah.
No, there's. I think like kind of like what Rich Evans said. There's no more movies. There's no more of these fucking movies.
fucking! I
They just
fucking
suck.
hope so.
And Marvel really just does it better.
I think
Marvel
Marvel
just does it better.
But the thing is that it's because Marvel lets the filmmakers just do what they want, which is original stuff, instead of Marvel being like, okay, just make our equivalent of Man of Steel.
Well, they didn't do that
back-
with Avengers 2. There was a lot of interference from Avengers 2.
Yeah,
Yeah, supposedly with Ant-Man also.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, of course with Ant-Man, because the director got kicked off, which is really seems retarded. And maybe the Marvel movies are about to fall apart, which would be really disappointing, because I would love to see a really good Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Civil War will tell us one way or the other.
Yeah, well, Civil War might be the last good movie, at least, because Civil War looks like it might be good, but then it's like, why is Spider?
Well, maybe not, because they're shoving a lot of bullshit in there from the
Yeah,
release
it's
trailer.
gonna be their longest movie. I would kind of like to see it, though. I would like to see a really fucking long Marvel fucking heroes movie, because it would probably be better than Avengers 2. It's made by the Russo brothers, who made the fucking
I mean,
other...
You have to go into
The
these
Crank
assuming
movies?
that people don't read the
Is
comic
that the
books. You
Crank
have to
movies?
assume that nobody knows who Spider-Man is.
Fucking,
So all of a sudden,
have
Spider-Man
to-
appears, and we're like, who the
we're
fuck
gonna
is
have
that?
To see Uncle Ben killed
Well,
again.
everybody knows who Spider-Man is. Actually,
Yes.
that's one
Yeah,
of the
but
things.
in
not-
terms of
not as
storytelling,
many
that's
people
really-
know about.
In terms of
the
storytelling,
Punisher,
if
shit like
I'd love to
that.
see the Punisher show. Punisher Warzone is actually still my favorite Marvel movie of all time.
Yeah,
But I mean, if we just in terms of storytelling, just to have a character appear out of nowhere and then leave, that's stupid.
They're not going to do that, I'm sure, but I don't.
It's
know
like
if
the
they are
Wonder
gonna
Woman
do.
thing.
I have no idea what they're going to do with that movie, and it could be a huge mess. But the thing is, it's made by the guys
Wonder
who
Woman
made
movie's gonna suck.
Captain America 1 and Captain America 2, which were way better movies than they had any
Oh,
right
yeah.
to be.
It's so easy to fuck up a Captain America movie, and they didn't.
Unlike Star Wars, which should be impossible to fuck up, Captain America movie would be impossible to make good, and they still did it anyways. Even Scarlett fucking Johansson, Scarlett Witch Johansson, was not enough. She wasn't like, I'm picking up.
Oh, my favorite part of. That's my favorite part of Batman v Superman is when Wonder Woman shows up.
Yeah,
Says, I'm always picking up after you, boys.
Please pick it. Which, compared to what I've just seen with Batman, it's fine.
yeah.
That and I like
To be honest,
the
though,
Black Widow
there was no
character.
reason for her to even be in the movie.
Did you see that thing in the review where she's like, "Oh, we're finally showing women can be strong and beautiful." She actually says, "Finally." Like,
I mean,
oh,
finally,
no movies
have you ever seen
tried that.
Aliens? Have you seen fucking? Oh god damn it!
They're retarded. Yeah, but here's the thing.
Women are retarded.
They
Yeah.
could have made in
Oh,
the
shit.
entire movie Batman versus Superman without Wonder Woman showing up for even 1 second, and it wouldn't have changed a single thing with
Yeah,
the movie.
whether she's there or not, it doesn't.
In fact, it would have made the
doesn't
movie
even
better because it would have been shorter. The movie didn't need to be 2.5 fucking
matter.
hours.
Exactly. But they feel obligated to make it long because it's a big
It can't be
event.
serious. You can't take
Big
the
event
movie
movie.
seriously unless it's at least over 2 hours long. It's not even about the content in it.
Meanwhile,
It just
again
needs
with
to be
fucking Ant-Man. Ant-Man's like fucking 90 minutes. I don't know how long Ant-Man is. It's probably a little over 90 minutes.
about 100 minutes, I would say.
Watch
Is
the
it
Mummy
any,
again.
Is it any good?
We watched
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was a good movie. It was a good movie. The Mummy, also a good movie.
Mummy's a great movie. Have you ever seen The Mummy? It was on Netflix. I watched it again just because it was like, let me watch The Mummy again. Let me just see. Is it as good as I remember it? Because I remember it being pretty fun. And now I can actually think critically about movies thanks
Yeah,
to
it's like an
media.
Indiana Jones knockoff that's actually done right, which is
Better
bizarre.
than Kingdom of Crystal Skull, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, a billion times better than King of the Crystal Skull. And, unfortunately, and all the sad thing is, all it does is remind me of fucking of poor Brendan Fraser before the alimony, before just. Oh,
Before
that's
his
sad.
entire life was defined down to just.
Just.
But yeah,
that's sad.
and you know, The only question is the movie too funny? Because the movie's almost a comedy. It practically is an action comedy. 'Cause
Like
it's just-
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Actually, it's funnier than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy has some funny stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy has better action and characters, I would say. But way better action. The whole scene where they get onto, was it Nowhere? And it's fucking, and like Drax calls the fucking big bad of the movie
Yeah.
to come over.
Like, come over so I can kill you.
Yeah, and
It
they get
kinda ruins
they're all
everything.
drunk, and they're just like making bad decisions and being weird. That
It's
whole
funny because they're like
section's
the
so
worst
great.
heroes ever.
Yes. Which is the tagline for fucking Suicide Squad. Which,
Which,
I bet
yeah,
it's gonna suck.
I wasn't sure
Yeah.
about Suicide Squad. It's like, well, okay, if it's gonna be like kind of fun, I have no idea what the fucking premise is even supposed to be. I know
I
the
bet-
Joker's in it,
It's gonna
and
suck
he looks
so much.
stupid. He looks
looks
completely
awful.
stupid.
It's gonna suck so much dick. It's going to be the tank of movies.
He has a tattoo across his forehead that says "damaged."
Oh, he's pretty
And
edgy.
he's got tattoos down like his sides and
fucking
his
madman.
ribs that say "ha ha ha ha." He's got tattoos that he's like literally a fucking live journal
It's
girl.
it's the fanfic version of the Joker. Like if you made a fanfic of the Joker, it would be like, and then he had said, and then he showed his tattoos that
What
said,
was the other one
Ah.
that was like on his arms or his chest or something that
Who
just says some
cares?
dumb shit?
Uh,
Just some dumb. fucking
and here's the thing
shit.
really needed to mention is that Tank really liked Batman versus Superman.
Oh,
For real,
shit.
we're not saying that to make fun
Just
of him.
what kind of a monster likes this movie?
He
Earnestly.
is an anime fan. He enjoys anime. That's what kind of fucking piece of shit
Just
he
th-
is.
your taste would be that bad.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He likes anime.
Did he like Batman and Robin too?
He likes
Did he like
Sword
it?
Art Online and Fairy
Yeah,
Tail.
I said, didn't you like? Aren't you the faggot who likes Sword Online? It's like, ugh, well, are you getting angry? And it's like, no, I'm not.
No,
Or just a fucking weeb piece of fag. And
How old is Tank?
he emotionally, I'd say he's about 6, but in real life, it's no answer would be good. But he's like 22, I think. There's no excuse though. Not even if you're 22.
I don't know, because the only
Because he
kind of
said
people who
Batman
would like
versus
this
Superman
movie-
is better than Man of Steel, and that he was. Well, he also said he really liked Pixels.
Ugh.
Yes,
did
and
you
he
know
liked
that?
Terminator Genesis. He said
I
that
actually,
was really
I
good
actually
for
like
me.
Terminator Genesis.
You know,
I
I
liked Terminator Genesis, but it's not NET2. It's not.
It
fucking-
certainly is not, but it was an okay movie.
To be honest, I don't even think it was nearly as good as Terminator 3.
haven't
I
seen
think
Terminator 3 in a
they're
long
about
time.
they're about even Terminator 3 and Genesis for me.
Well, Salvation's definitely still the worst.
Fucking, I couldn't. Yeah, I saw that in the theaters, like the midnight release. I was like, what?
'Cause this is right
I-
about the time this was between Dark Knight and Dark Knight
Yes,
Rises.
that was embarrassing. It was like,
Fucking Terminator Genesis gets points because at no point does a Terminator just punch you across the room. If a Terminator grabs you,
throw
you're
people-
dead.
The Terminators don't throw people in an attempt to terminate them in Genesis, which is at least a tiny step up. That was the most dumbest thing about fucking Terminator Salvation is all the Terminators just throw people.
They just fling
They
him
suck-
around the room.
They suck at terminating.
Yes, they're the worst.
The one thing they're supposed to be good at, and they can't do it. I asked
There was
you to do
some
one simple
fun.
thing.
Oh yeah, that was a great movie. We fucking after we saw Batman versus Superman, I went and took a bunch of my tax refund money and just blew an inappropriate shitload of movies on Where was it? Didn't I go somewhere and
Just
just
go to the
pick it up?
Kroger's or Target or something.
Oh yeah, it was Target. It was Target, and it was like, here's the $4 movie pack, all the Superman movies. And I was like, oh, for $5, I can get all the Superman movies on DVD.
1,
So
2,
I
3,
bought-
and 4, The Quest for Peace.
Yes, including 3 and 4. And it was like, you know what? I've never seen Superman 3, but Richard Pryor's in it, and from what I hear, it's quite the underrated movie, actually. Which
Well, it can't be as bad as Batman v Superman.
It isn't. It's way better.
It's fucking a million times. It's actually a really good movie on its own terms, which is like camp borderline comedy. But there's like it's comedic. The intro
It's
section
legitimately.
dumb.
There's some legitimately funny moments.
Yes,
I mean, it's
it's
definitely a
actually
dated.
in the movie.
It's definitely a dated, stupid movie. But,
But
it's
yeah, there's-
definitely also way better than.
But they had
Batman.
I was trying to remember some of the fucking like legitimately like sort of edgy or subversive shit they put in the movie, and I can't. My memory is fucking atrocious. I need to see the movie again. But it's like
There's some there's some risque elements. He has to scan.
Oh yeah, no, of the first movie,
fucking
of the
her
first
panties.
fucking movie.
He has to
Actually.
scan her panties with his X-ray vision.
Yeah, that happens in Superman 1, where one of the first question, it's like the fourth or fifth question, that Lois Lane asks Superman is, what color underwear am I wearing? It's like, holy shit, this is the fucking Superman of the 70s, the quaint, funny Superman of the 70s? It's fucking dirt.
And fucking Perry White, the editor,
Yes,
reminds her,
rape-
there's only
Has
one.
P in it, Lois.
There's only
that's a
one
line
P
in the
in
original
rapist.
Superman. They're making rape jokes in the original Superman movie for real. It's fucking bizarre. It's like how the fuck do I
So
know
much
this
better than
shit?
it's so much better than Hack Snyder's Superman.
Yes,
movies.
it's darker though, but funny because
It's not actually darker.
It's not
They
actually
make a few rape jokes, which is great,
which is
is
for sure.
perfectly acceptable. But at no point does Superman let an entire city get destroyed. That never happens.
In fact, he works his balls off to save not just the city, but like fucking several cities from like a dam busting and fucking a nuke going off and all this shit. And in his scramble to save all these people, Lois is the one who dies. And it's like fucking, well,
It's like,
shit.
oh no! And so he goes back in time.
Man of Steel, where it's like, did you see all the buildings collapse? He
Goes
doesn't say
Arkham.
because you wouldn't get to see all the buildings collapse. You Mandarin, all that shit.
Because he
Even
would
in
never allow it.
Superman fucking 4, he's like frantic that people are getting hurt because of Nuclear Man. He's like, stop the people. Fucking even the shitty ass
And then
stupid
they go to the
Superman
moon.
4.
And then they go to the moon.
The moon. Yes.
Then they go to the moon.
But one thing in Superman 3, Superman 3 is a great bizarre movie, especially because they really fuck with the idea of Superman, where he gets like a sort of
Even the dumb
poison
part where he
kryptonite.
gets split into two personalities
Yes.
and fights himself is more Superman and more exciting than Man of Steel or
and it's
Batman
more
versus
interesting
Superman.
as a concept. It's like
Even though it's the dumbest shit ever.
yes,
But
it's
see,
it's
even
something-
then, when he's not in his right mind, he goes to a place where there's no people.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't trash an entire city, but also one of the
Especially
greatest.
Especially love the part where Superman's just screaming at him, "You big chicken!"
Oh yeah,
He's fucking
Superman
he's shit talking
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent.
Just shit talking him the entire time. Yeah, you fucking piece of shit. You big chicken. He has this goofy accent, and it makes you realize that Christopher Reeve was actually a pretty decent actor as
Yeah.
far as like he had better range than just heroic Superman.
Oh yeah, did you see him? I think it was
I don't think I've ever
the thing
seen
with
him
the
in
evil
anything
kids,
No, I
the
don't
glowing
think I've
eyes.
seen any other movie with
Children
him.
of the Corn.
No, it was fuck. What was it? I don't remember. He was in a fucking horror movie. It was pretty good. Christy Alley was in it too.
Communion? No, I don't know.
It was Village of the Damned. That's what it was.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
Starring
The thing is,
Superman.
He's
Superman.
underrated
Down the door.
because playing Superman is pretty limited, but it also
He got typecast pretty damn.
but the thing is that the thing that he nailed, of course, was which they really milked, like really obviously, but I still kind of like that they did it. Is that you see him as Clark Kent and you see him as Superman behave completely differently each time, and only
And that should be what he
Superman
should be
character.
doing as Superman, no matter
Yes.
no matter what.
But the reason why I even brought up Superman 3 and us buying it and us seeing it
It's a great
is
movie.
because one of the greatest lines in movie history is in Superman 3, where Robert Vaughn is like the sort of replacement Lex Luthor, and it seems like just a obviously cheap replacement, but they kind of did a good job. Are we supposed to hit this button at the same time? Oh shit.
Oh, fuck no.
No.
No way.
But yeah, Robert Vaughn. It's like Robert Vaughn and his sister, his evil cunty sister. And did he have some other henchman?
Yeah, the other woman who
Supposed
was
to
his
be like-
psychic.
Oh yeah,
His psychic.
no, she
fruit
was the super smart who had to act like
dietitian.
a fucking bimbo.
Yeah,
But yeah,
which
that
was
the,
actually legitimately funny and interesting.
yeah. And it was their replacement of like Lex Luthor with Ned Beatty as the fucking stupid dumb idiot. But the thing is that Robert Vaughn like hired like the plot's a little weird, but it's interesting. Where fucking
Basically,
Richard
blackmails Richard Pryor into being like his own personal,
Black
like a hacker, because computers could do everything, especially back in the fucking early '80s.
But yeah, what happens is the movie starts like here's the unemployment line, and Richard Pryor's unemployed. He's trying to apply for unemployment benefits.
Superman. That's
Superman. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Superman.
It's like the first fucking 20 minutes of the movie or that, but it's Richard Pryor, and he fucking he can't get a job, and like he goes to smoke a cigarette. He asks some guy, hey, you got a match? Guy gives him a matchbook and is like, make money now, learned how to program computers. So Richard Pryor goes to this job, and he like just has a natural knack for like computer programming. It's like, I'm really good at this, and so they
It's actually really kind of unbelievable and outlandish, but it's also not the point. The
Yeah,
point
it's-
is he has a natural knack for
you
computers.
can sort of buy it enough. It's not so ridiculous. It's like, oh, he's like, oh, I didn't even know I was really good at this. Like, sort of computers and mathematics. They sort of show in a very quick. Just it's quick, it's easy, it gets the point across as
It
opposed
doesn't take 20, 30, 40
Zack
minutes.
Snyder would fucking drag it out and shit. But
He doesn't drop a satellite into the middle of the city and kill
Yeah.
500 people.
so, what? Fucking. But it also shows like Richard Pryor actually is a really complex character in this movie who has a complicated arc, and he's a very conflicted sort of sub-villain, and it's really interesting. Is that like he goes to work for this computer company as just like a coding drone, and he
Richard
gets
Pryor must have been a big Superman fan also, because
I
he
think
seems
so.
to be really jazzed to be in the movie.
yes,
He's
yeah.
jazzed to be in the movie.
He does a
man.
good job. He's good in the movie. He's fun to watch. But he works for this corporation run by Robert Vaughn, and he gets his first paycheck, and it's like 100 something. It's like, they told me I was gonna get more than this, and it's like, yeah, the taxes and all that take a bit. The government should take a bite, don't they? It's a reference to Raising Arizona, actually. But the
We still haven't gotten to the greatest line ever.
yeah, yes, I'm taking the way long way around to that, but yeah, just to provide context, anyways. But they
Everyone should know about Superman
yes
3.
Superman 3, but
We actually
yeah,
bought
so
some
he's working for this company, and he gets this shitty paycheck. And it's like, oh, and one of his coworkers tells him that all these fractions of a penny like just get like float around.
Basically, it's like Office
system.
Space. It's like in Office Space.
Yes, it's like in Office Space, which is they're like in Office Space. They're like, this plan sounds familiar, and fucking Michael Bolton says, yeah, it was in Superman 3, underrated movie, really. And like, oh, really? Okay. And fucking, so I'm watching Superman
got
3,
you.
and it's like, oh wow, this is the part they were talking about in Office Space. So they fucking he does some computer programming to like make it so all those fractions of a cent go into a separate paycheck, and he picks it up.
It's like
And it's like, oh, shit.
$80,000.
It's like $80,000 or something. He's like, oh shit, and Robert Vaughn, who owns the fucking company, notices immediately. He's like, somebody just got a check.
Somebody just embezzled $80,000 from our company.
Yeah,
It used to be that if you did this, then blah blah blah.
it's very good. And they're like, we'll definitely have this guy fired and sent to jail. But Robert Vaughn's like, no, you know what? Let's hire this guy because he can pull a scam for me. And he wanted Richard Pryor to go hack some fucking other shit,
Hack the planet.
hack the planet. In like the actual for real like Kevin Mitnick form of hacking, where you like dress up in a fucking uniform and like, I'm here to repair the thing, go ahead and let me in, and they do, and he fucks with the system. And it's in Smallville, is like almost forced.
Gotta go to Smallville to do this. A bunch of
go to
stuff. A
Smallville.
bunch of stuff is happening in Smallville. There's the fucking high school reunion for Clark Kent.
Kent's gonna go cover the high school.
And then a fucking oil.
Better than his job in fucking Batman v Superman, where he has to go cover the fucking regional sub championships for the fucking South Central High Generals. Oh shit. but yeah, they don't write about that compelling vigilante in Gotham. We want you to write about the fucking dumbass.
The high school basketball team.
Oh.
And that actually happens in the movie too. It's like nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
Oh, I get it. It's about making fun of the fight. It's a fourth wall joke in a movie that's taking itself so fucking serious.
Speaking of Clark Kent taking on the Batman,
He's got-
Batman v Superman.
We still haven't said the line.
Oh,
Oh,
We still
still
haven't
think-
told
well, I
you
get-
the greatest line in human
the greatest
history.
line in movie history. Well, yeah, it's oh fuck, but it's so Robert Vaughn's hiring fucking
Basically takes on fucking. He's got a ski lift on the top of his fucking
on
skyscraper.
his skyscraper. He has not just a ski lift, but an actual skiing hill on top of his skyscraper. It's the most ridiculous fucking thing. But yeah, he takes in Richard Pryor to like fucking like program stuff for him to fuck with the oil industry, and it's like, have all these oil tankers meet in this empty spot and I'll own all the oil. It's just ridiculous. But it's supposed to be campy anyways. But so, and then Superman comes and fucks with all the shit, and so Robert Vaughn's like, oh, this Superman, he's ruining my schemes. So he wants Richard Pryor to fucking go like
to kill Superman.
Yes, and
He
then
wants Richard Pryor to kill Superman.
and that's why Superman gets all fucked up, is because Richard Pryor does this. It's a really dumb scene where Richard Pryor goes to the Smallville thing where they're like, "Thank you, Superman, you saved stuff," and
Save the oil tankers
Yes,
from
you saw
blowing
it.
up.
you saved some things. And so they and Richard Pryor just suddenly shows up wearing like a patent uniform. He's like, we present to you this gift, and it's just a giant chunk of fucking kryptonite.
It's like pseudo kryptonite.
Yeah, it's some kind of like it's like an artificially manufactured.
isn't it like
kryptonite.
red kryptonite?
No, it was still green. It was just a giant
Oh, okay.
green chunk of fucking. And it so looked like kryptonite, but Superman just took it, and it didn't really do anything. And fucking Richard Pryor's like, I gave him the kryptonite, and nothing happened. And so the greatest line. So Robert Vaughn just suddenly says the greatest line in movie history, where it's like, I asked you to kill Superman, and you're telling me you couldn't do that one simple thing.
The line. We got to the line.
Like, that's the line.
Finally.
But
Well, yeah.
it's worth it's worth seeing the entire movie just for that.
And then he
it's in
throws the
trailer.
phone down.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the best part. That's not in the trailer. The line is in the trailer. It's it's like the dumbest line ever, but it's so genius and wonderful. But in the movie itself, after he says it, he's saying it over the phone, and Robert Vaughn just throws the phone onto the ground. He just drops it onto the ground, like, I'm done with this phone call. Where's this go? Oh yeah, into the air. Just like, I don't care. It's just fucking ridiculous. It's like him dropping the mic after savaging, and then immediately afterwards is fucking Richard Pryor's coked out mugging for the camera goes, oh, just fucking like, I fucked up. It's just fucking bizarre and ridiculous. And I loved it so much, especially after Batman v Superman, where it's just so serious. "Ugh, the bat is dead. Bitch."
Just
And
a
just-
thing Superman would
kill
never
you.
say to Batman.
Yeah.
I should carry you out in a million pieces.
I will put you to a million pieces. Just
Consider
fucking-
this mercy.
Is
what
it?
What?
He would never say that to a villain, let alone
Yes.
Batman.
Superman? No.
And they still could have made that where it's like Lex Luthor's just justified. Like Lex Luthor has legitimate, for real concerns about like, there's this guy who can fucking destroy the entire fucking planet or something. I need these emergency powers to fucking here's this, and then I have this kryptonite. And
No,
Superman
his dad, his
Heisenberg
his
supports
dad
him.
was a meanie to him, so he hates Superman.
So he hates
His dad
God.
was a religious
He
me.
hates God. Therefore,
Hate God, yeah.
he
His dad was
also
mean
hates
to him. All of a
Superman.
sudden that's his motivation. They could have
He's
could have done.
euphoric. He's completely euphoric.
It's just pretty euphoric about the whole thing. But yeah, they could have done a million things with Batman versus Superman that would have been rational and reasonable, and
You
you'd be
can
like,
have
"Oh,
a movie
Luthor
where
has a
Batman
point."
fights Superman. In fact, it's not really a bad idea.
Yes.
It's not a bad idea.
You could even have
Do you know,
like
do you know
where
what's
Batman is justified in being against Superman, and he almost is, except it's just
What was the
stupid.
book? Was it Hush, or was it actually the All-Star Superman, where Superman actually gets brainwashed by Poison Ivy, and Batman has to, like, kind of subdue him? It's like, hey, good job.
Without killing
And then,
his ass.
without killing him. And then the spell wears off, and it's like, hey, good job, Batman. I knew it was good to trust you with that kryptonite ring. And it's like, oh, wow, they're friends.
Yeah, they're friends.
And they're working together, and they're not trying to kill each other.
So they save the day with the power of teamwork and friendship.
they're going to defeat, was it Thanos?
They can
By
defeat
learning to work
Thanos
together as a team.
by learning to work together as a team. Yeah, as opposed to like in Batman versus Superman, fucking Wonder Woman just shows up. She's like, hey, she literally could have just been anyone or anything. It doesn't even matter who she is.
And she's
what
going to
she
show
does.
everybody how powerful and beautiful women can be for the first
Final-
time.
Finally, for the first time in movie history.
Human history.
Yeah, and there was no reason for her to be in the movie at all ever. They could have dumped all of that. They could have dumped all of the Super Friends, and it wouldn't have hurt the movie or even changed the plot, even
Fucking
a tiny bit.
Aquaman shows up.
It's just shoehorned in. All of it's shoehorned in. None of it fits. None of it matters.
Aquaman shows up, and
You
he's
stupid ass
having a
Aquaman.
hard time swimming around. He's just like floating around so slowly, and then all of a sudden there's a special effect of him teleporting out of the water or some shit.
Yeah, a terrible, terrible movie. Worse than fucking Man of Steel. Worse than Batman and Robin. Worse
I'm
than
back.
Daredevil.
Sorry, my fucking network is a piece of shit.
Fucking piece of
Did
shit.
you
Well,
miss
you
all
missed
of
some? You missed some brilliant stuff.
There's some great stuff. Speaking of which, did Pleb even respond?
Go check.
No. It says Forge responded.
No.
It says I'm here. Was that
I mean-
just now? Oh, did you disconnect just now?
Yeah, my fucking network adapter's a piece
Oh,
of
I
shit.
didn't. I didn't fucking even notice. I didn't. see.
We're talking about more brilliant things.
Yeah, we're just talking. Well, we were talking about Batman v Superman. Just how fucking botched.
Batman v
There was.
Superman.
Yeah, there's just no point to any of it. But there was no point to the whole Super Friends, except that they're trying to set up their
And then all of the
Avengers.
comic book fags are like, "Oh, you just a fanboy from Marvel."
Yeah, exactly. It's not that
because
this
Marvel's
movie's botched or
because
poorly made.
Marvel's actually doing things well. They're doing things
Wait, are
correctly.
people like actually defending this movie?
Well, of course they're comic book fucking superhero comic book readers will defend anything that is even remotely involved with superhero comics.
I've never seen anyone actually defend Batman versus Superman.
But
Good.
well, I'm sure on CO they're going.
Yeah.
If they haven't
They
yet,
have,
they are
yeah.
going
Well, it's
to.
not like I'm
They're
gonna
waiting
go
for
fucking.
they're waiting for
I'm
the
not gonna
initial
go
embarrassment
check.
to die down. The initial embarrassment will die down first, and they'll be like,
yeah, the
you know
movie's
what?
actually
That
very
movie was
underrated.
actually pretty good.
It's very underrated, actually.
Yeah, why did people hate it? Probably because they like fucking Iron Man. They hate Iron Man 3 on fucking CO. Superhero comic readers
Read all our life to see
fucking
the
hate
comic
Iron
book
Man
version of
3.
Mandarin.
They consider it the worst superhero movie ever made.
Wasn't that fucking
That movie's
Watch
great. What the
Mojo-
fuck is wrong with them?
Yeah, well,
It's
that
because
WatchMojo.com
the
even
Mandarin
complained
wasn't
about that.
It's
and I'm
because
sure they haven't seen
It's
the movie.
exactly the joke that they were fucking in the Half in the Bag episode. Everyone was waiting for the Mandarin and they ruined it. What am I going to do now? They seriously think that. If you go on CO and you say that Iron Man 3 is good, they'll be like, can you fucking believe this guy? He actually thinks the worst superhero movie is good. What was good about Iron Man 3? Just name anything. I bet you can't. And then you
They
do.
actually
They
talk
did.
like
Ben
that.
Kingsley.
They actually
I
talk
named
like
something.
Yes.
that.
Hold
Gee,
on.
what
For
can
like
I name?
a bunch of
How
things.
about the fact that he's got a fucking suit that's in pieces that flies around in separate pieces? It's totally awesome.
He's got like a gizmo duck suit. It's great.
Yes, it's in chunks. It's broken apart, and he still manages to use bits. The part where he fucking just has the fucking hand repulsor, and he just uses
It's
that.
like just one hand and
Except
one
for-
arm and one leg, and he uses that to fight off a whole group of people.
Well, that was, yeah, later in the movie also when it all flies, especially it was like you're about to get your ass kicked in 5, 4,
How about like
3, and nothing happens.
how about a fucking almost nearly unique instance of a hero having PTSD from something that happened in a
Yes.
previous movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Incredible.
That's actually also one of the
like
funny
actual
things is like the AI.
And they didn't
fucking
have to do
Jeeves
that at all.
Tells him like it sounds like you had a panic attack, and he actually stops his panic attack in just utter bewilderment that he had a panic attack
Yes.
because he's Tony Stark. He can get away with that. It's funny, you know. And it's like this, and it makes sense.
It's like we get a hero who's lost everything that he thought made him a hero, but he finds out that it's just him. He's the hero.
Yeah, like in the whole previous couple of movies, is like the Iron Man suit is the thing with the powers, and eventually, as the Iron Man suit is like torn apart, he's like, oh wait, it's really just whatever I can come up with. So it's really me that makes all the decisions.
And even in the very end with the big dumb action fight, all of his suits get torn through like nothing. They're almost useless at the end.
Well, they
Because
basically
they
save
get
the
cut apart
day.
with butter. They're pretty useless, actually.
They get cut down like butter.
Fuck
Fuck you.
But yeah, fucking yeah. They're useful though as like a distraction.
But that's about it. That's
And
about
then
as good as
he
they-
just blows them up afterwards anyway.
He
when
blows
he's
them up
done.
afterwards, anyways. Which here's the thing about when it comes to like big dumb action for a comic book movie, I completely let it go. It's like, okay, this Captain America movie has to end with a big fist fight. I'm completely fine with that because it's a comic book.
I
movie.
actually, you know what? That was actually one of the things I also really liked about Iron Man 3, which is a great movie, is the just that comic book science of like, oh, he has the power of plants to get really hot, and he can slice through things with his arms because he makes his arms hot.
And also, it's like you
It's
can breathe,
comic book science, but
you can
it's
breathe
fun.
fire now. Okay,
Yeah. Oh yeah. He could breathe. He could breathe fire.
that's
He could
one of
breathe
the
fire now.
best scenes in the whole movie.
Fucking Rhodey had better not be dead in the fucking Civil War movie. They
I
better
know,
not
yeah,
kill
yeah.
him off.
Well, no, I don't think they'll kill him off.
Well, I don't know.
Because I fucking love
I
that.
hope- I
He's
hope
great.
not. Yeah.
He's certainly better as fucking
He's great in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, he's great in Iron Man 3.
1, 2,
He's
and
good in-
3.
He's good in 2. To be honest, I actually still liked Iron Man 2 a lot.
I liked Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2's good. It's fine.
But
It is
a lot of people don't.
apparently it was rushed, but yeah, people want to look back on it negatively because it kind of touts some
That
objectivist
movie's
values.
actually, yeah. Oh,
And like,
oh, is
it's
that
it's not
bad?
pushing a liberal agenda.
He doesn't
this
care
is
about the
Well, that was
liberal
because
agenda?
Tony Stark isn't a fucking liberal.
exactly.
great.
In fact, he's against liberals. He pretty much despises the fucking hippies, rightfully so.
Even though he's he shut down the weapons manufacturing.
But he
Well,
made
he's
the
not really
world's greatest
conservative
weapon.
either. He's just kind of like
Yeah,
he'll do
exactly.
the right thing.
He's for creators' rights. Basically, Iron
right.
Man 2 is like the greatest.
That movie
adaptation
was
of
really important
adaptation.
because one of the most commonly known things about, if you know anything about his character from the comics, is that he's like a full blown alcoholic. It's like, oh, he's such an alcoholic. It's a stupid character trait for a movie, though. You can't really do it
in the movie. He's just
So in
like
the
a
movie-
big crybaby, and
in
in
the
the movie they
he's
turn him into a
dying
full
and
party
he's very
guy.
impulsive, and so because he's dying, he's like, I'm gonna drink all the alcohol that I want. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
that-
He's still kind of a big fuck up, and
Yes.
Yeah, well, exactly.
it's his ego that gets him into trouble.
And they
more often.
needed to do that in the fucking movie so that we could move on from it, so that we could actually have other
So
plots
yeah,
that
so you
don't
can have an
involve
arc and actually be a
alcoholism.
character.
Yeah, he's had that arc. He's gotten over that.
Because
and he's
normally
got
with
new problems now.
alcoholism, there is no arc. It's just like, oh, he's an alcoholic still. He's still drinking the booze.
But it
Yeah,
doesn't really matter because
comics, it's just
ultimately he'll
cheesy.
wind up doing the right thing because he's a fucking hero.
Yes.
He can be an alcoholic and be a hero.
Mhm. But in the comic books, it's something just to be milked
It's
repeatedly.
cloying. Yeah, it's like fucking the fucking after school special shit in the comic books. I actually read the comic where he's like, I'm an alcoholic, and it's fucking very
I'm
sad.
Tony
depressing.
Stark, and I'm an alcoholic, and he's at an AA meeting.
Yeah, it ends with him going to an AA meeting and getting rid of Demon in a Bottle. That was the fucking, and it doesn't the real life version of the cover doesn't have Anthony Cumia wearing a fucking Nazi armband, unfortunately.
Nazi uniform, Nazi armband,
Nazi uniform.
smiling.
Tony Stark isn't even wearing a Nazi armband in the fucking comic, which is really disappointing.
Just goes
Like,
to show how shitty the comics are.
yes,
There was another part in fucking Batman v Superman where Bruce is in the burnt down Wayne Manor, and he's standing there brooding, and
Lounging
Alfred comes
around.
in, and like I started paying attention because like, oh, maybe we'll get some fucking character development here. No, it lasts for 2 minutes and he just walks away. He just fucking wanders away. Like fucking what? Zack Snyder.
yeah, he
why
was
do
an alcoholic in that movie too. Batman was a fucking alcoholic. He wakes up and just starts chugging from a bottle with some whore on his bed. And it's like, whoa, this is the really hit the skids. Batman, are they going to milk this? And it's like, no, it's just completely dropped. They forget. They
I thought
forget.
that
and
might
like,
There's
he
no
forgets
Joe
he's
Chill.
an alcoholic.
There's no Joe Chill.
Yeah,
Batman has no Joe Chill.
yes, no chill or Joe Chill.
But
So
fucking
that
Zack
fucking
Snyder,
entire ending's
since Zack
gone.
Snyder's doing a Batman movie, I'm gonna show my version of his parents getting murdered. And mine's gonna be the best. It's gonna be badass. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be so fucking
Because
awesome.
I'm Zack. Fuck it. I hate Zack Snyder more than
Yeah,
I hate
I-
Michael
I-
Bay now.
Yeah,
I
now
used
hate
to. I
him.
used to be like, well, he's just irregularly incompetent. But now it's like,
I
no.
used to, with 300, it was like, man, he's really cool. He's really good at this action, and it's like this movie's pretty badass. And then, yeah, and then it was basically Man of Steel. Again, I thought Man of Steel was an okay movie, and it actually looks better compared to Batman vs Superman. But I also looked at that movie and I was like, Zack Snyder really botched this.
Yeah,
he
'cause I
needed
think
to do better. And he
The
did.
city destruction, I think, was Zack Snyder's idea.
It was like anime.
Yeah, it was like anime, where they're like, let's do all this completely pointless shit where the city gets leveled, have no characterization or character depth or anything. Like again, like in anime. The closest that anime got to that was fucking Eva, where it still had all the big fucking dumb city destruction anyway.
Yeah, but that was an end of the world scenario.
Yeah, so
the
there
point
was
supposed
at least
to be,
something more to
they're
that.
not superheroes. They're mentally damaged children's.
Yes.
They're not
And it was
supposed
all
to
a
be-
big metaphor for psychological abuse and abuse and shit like that.
until the very end, where it just became a big fuck you to the typical anime fans who were expecting a more typical, like, upbeat anime ending and shit.
where they're all kids in school and they're late for school. They're always late for
She
school.
has the toast in her mouth, and oh no, she's late for school. Ray's late for school. Gotta get to school.
No, we saw her panties, even though she's fucking underage.
She's 14 years old. Nice
Sexy
pussy.
ass underage.
She's got a- She's 14 years old. You can tax that ass for days. Are rough. Which is one of the other best lines in movie history from Training Day, where the fucking homeless crackhead is like,
Crackhead
you
is
can
about to
tax
rape
that
the
ass for days. Aroof. About the fucking 14-year-old girl who almost got raped. She had the pink wallet. The fruitiest looking wallet I've ever seen.
You know, for someone who made 300, Zack Snyder really is afraid of being thought of as gay.
Yeah, he's sort of
He's
like
got
that.
an attack
fucking-
of the not gays.
yeah, he's got a bad case of the not gays.
Crippling case of the not gays.
It's sort of like the fucking Johnny Ryan comic about Woodstock 99 or whatever. It's like, here's another song about how much I love to fuck chicks because I don't want anyone to find out I'm actually just a big faggot.
You know, fucking Superman
that
shouldn't
one?
stick around
that one
after the
from?
bomb and help people because that's gay. He just flies away. Of course he would.
Oh yeah, he fucking the whole place gets blown up, and you think
He just
they're gonna
flies
try and frame.
away.
They're gonna frame Superman for this bombing, and it's like, no, we found out who the bomber is. This guy in the wheelchair, and that's it.
He
Yeah.
doesn't
Ends
stick around
right
to
there.
help injured people. He just fucking leaves.
He's just standing there bewildered, like, oh man, I can't believe I didn't realize it.
Oh, why didn't I notice? And then he mopes. Yeah, instead of even doing anything,
mopes.
Julia, I'm going to figure out who did this, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this mystery. Instead, he's like, I wasn't looking. I could have done something.
I could have done something, but I
It's just an
didn't 'cause I
excuse for
didn't
more
realize.
moping.
And then all that shit Kevin Costner, like, be hero,
Oh god,
blah,
his
blah,
death
blah.
was the
It's
dumbest
just
thing.
fucking. But at the same time, I actually kind of like it now because it sets an example for Clark to as like a
He actually
self-sacrificial
dies,
kind of thing.
His dad actually dies in the first movie too.
Yeah.
I didn't
Of
realize
heart
that.
attack, though. It just it was
Yeah,
a
it's
better.
just a heart attack, and then they're at the funeral, and he's like, all my power, and I couldn't even save my dad. So it kind of justifies why he wants to save other
Yes.
people.
And also it's like more thoughtful and insightful than anything in Man
And
of Steel.
it's 3 seconds.
Well,
Yeah,
sure,
it's-
but
it's
the
a
one that happens
fucking
in Man of
seconds.
Steel is I thought it was dumb too, but it
It was
It
so
sets an
pointless
example
in,
for
in
Clark
Man of Steel.
to-
It's like,
well because
Why?
fucking Clark.
can't save the dog.
Yeah, he had to
Save
save
the
that dog
from
though.
the tornado.
I mean, Clark learns that he has to keep his secret in order to protect people, and the sacrifices he should
Should
have
have
to
learned
make.
that after the bus crash thing.
But
Should
then-
have been like, here, no, you can't let people know that you're Superman.
What was it supposed to do? Let him die? No. No, but just keep
No.
you find a way to use a secret identity. But no, that would be too fun and maybe lead to like
That would be way too. That would be
no.
way too fun.
But then fucking Ma Kent is like
9/11.
just shits all over all of that, and she's like, "No, forget what your dad said. Just
Yes.
fucking
Your
don't
dad
be
is
everybody's
smarter.
hero."
This-
Your dad, who is smarter, your dad's a better person.
And you know what else shouldn't be in a fucking superhero movie is disgusting pictures of a superhero's mom being like raped and gagged and bound. What the fuck, Zack Snyder? What is? I'm going
she
full
says the
social justice
funny-
for you. Like, what the
She
fuck
says
is
the
wrong?
funny
with
line
you?
when
What
she's
the
like,
fuck?
"Oh,
I can't
you're a friend of
believe it.
Superman." When
I
I saw you
can't
had a
even.
cape.
I can't even.
It's 2016.
It's 2016.
My wife's son just doesn't want to see this kind of thing.
My wife's son doesn't want to see superhero
That's the
movies.
new cuck joke. Is fucking anytime some liberal says anything, it's to protect their wife's son, because of course their wife's son isn't actually their
So
son.
they actually got to fucking breed. The thug got to breed, and then got fucking blown out by the state.
The thuggy.
Now he's in prison.
Fucking Zack Snyder wanted to make a dark, violent, disturbing movie, and they
Should
gave
not
him
have been the
Superman
Superman
v
one, yeah.
Batman, and he should not have been allowed to do that.
He shouldn't have
He
been. He
wanted
shouldn't be
to
allowed
do
to do
that.
anything.
He
Last
wants-
the
yes,
the
he should not
movie-
be allowed to do anything ever.
The movie he
Ever.
did before Man of
Ever.
Steel was Sucker Punch, which was complete
Yeah,
fucking
trash.
garbage.
Just a boring, disappointing piece of shit. Not even. You know, and you know me.
I wanted to love
love
that
me
movie.
some Riona and objectification.
I was excited to see it. I wanted
and
to love it.
misogyny.
Mhm.
It would have been great if there had actually been some.
Yeah, some nice hot Riona and women just getting punched right in the womb
Fucking-
and shit.
I am like the least feminist person in the world, and that is one of the most sexist movies I've ever seen.
Yes, it
Sucker
is.
Punch.
It's sexist, but it's not just sexist against women. It's sexist against men, and more importantly, is that it's boring.
It's very
Yeah,
boring.
It treats
keep
women
ending
as
up in
like
this fucking
boring
brothel, which is
slaves.
not a brothel; it's a fucking psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing ever. I would have bought the movie more if it were literally just like the fantasy scenes were literally the reality of the
Yeah,
movie.
it's like steampunk with dragons and it's World War One trench warfare. And,
Yeah, with,
they're
with also
robot
World War II bomber
Nazis.
planes and shit
They're
and robot
Nazis.
Nazis.
With
If that were
steam
all,
power
yeah,
engines.
if all that shit in the movie were like the literal events instead of some fantasy shit, I would have been like, yeah, I'm fucking on board for this. Instead, it was like it's her fantasy thing that when
she's
she
doing
dances,
a sexy dance that
it's
instantly,
symbolic. It's like no.
instantly hypnotizes men.
I'm instantly bored, especially when she gets hit, goes flying back
gets
500
punched.
feet,
Slams into a wall, which explodes.
and then she just gets up like nothing happened. Which, of course, happens to Wonder Woman in this movie too.
And it's very anime.
It's the same boring shit. She gets thrown back, slams against the wall, and just acts like nothing happened.
And then she
like,
just
oh,
grins.
I'm instantly
oh, ho, ho.
bored.
Ha ha ha, I am Wonder Woman, you didn't hurt me. Even though this is like the
And then she
ultimate monster.
Throws a pole into a fucking dude that just spears into him, blood sprays
Spears
out.
into his throat. Oh no, that's the TV show.
Oh, the dumb fucking. But that's the thing. That's why you can't make a good Wonder Woman show, because that's exactly why, and it's the fault of feminism. It's directly the fault of feminism.
She was very pretty though.
Yeah, she was hot in the
She's an
fucking.
attractive piece of ass.
Yes,
she's a nice
she was a
piece
hot
of
ass
ass
piece of bitch.
Whore.
She was
Wow.
a hot ass piece of bitch. That's for sure. In the TV show and the movie, I would say, yeah.
I'll
Lately.
I'll give the Wonder Woman movie a chance just because I like Diana's character.
They're
overall.
gonna fuck it up. It's gonna be a disaster.
There's so many different fucking ways for fucking
They're gonna make
characters
her
been done.
complete
Her
invincible
character's
Mary
been done
Sue.
500 different ways at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they know how to even do her
That
character.
TV show
There
was
may not
another
be a good
example
way
of
to
that,
do it.
actually.
Because she's too like high fantasy myth stuff. It's just
And
too
you
weird.
can't
and
So
make
is
her-
not gonna
Thor.
fit.
It can be done.
You can't
But
make
Thor
her interesting.
was kind of a dumb movie too.
You can't make her
But
interesting.
they fucking botched the Thor movie. They ruined the character, which is why the movie was good.
Yes,
And
exactly.
at all.
Exactly. They made the character interesting.
Yeah,
Nobody
they
gives a fuck
dumped
about
all that
Thor.
fucking that his alter ego, alternate fucking identity, secret identity of him being a doctor named Robert Blake or some shit. That used to be one of the major parts of the
Wasn't that
Thor
supposed to be
comic
Doctor
book.
Strange?
God.
Wasn't that
No.
supposed to be Doctor Strange? Are you sure you're not confusing him with Doctor Strange?
No, Doctor Strange didn't have a fucking alter. You know what? To be honest, I don't know. I don't know about superhero comics.
They're gay.
They're
Superhero
fucking
comics
gay
are
as
not
a
good.
lot.
And that's
They're
why
fucking terrible.
feminists want to take them over. Naturally.
You know who else thinks superhero comics is gay? Is fucking Zack Snyder.
He has a good point. Maybe that's Zack Snyder's onto something.
But no, Zack Snyder. Actually, it seems like Zack Snyder loves these comic books, and he's doing exactly. He's like right out
Fuck,
of the
no, no,
Dark
no, no,
Ages.
no.
He is the Rob Liefeld of movies.
Zack
He's the
Snyder
Rob
likes
Liefeld of comic
fucking.
book movies.
Zack Snyder likes fucking Call of Duty and Modern Warfare, and he wanted Batman to do a
games are
fucking
pretty
Modern Warfare,
He shoots
wielding
people.
a gun and a semiotic weapon,
actually
which
shoots
should
people
never
in the
fucking
fucking
happen
movie.
with Batman.
I kind of like
And
that
he
he
stabs
shoots
some-
people though.
He stabbed some people. That entire time though, with the fight where it's just like that guy's dead.
That guy's dead.
He-
Batman
he-
just killed that guy.
he-
Batman killed that
He's
guy.
in the Batmobile just shooting
But I say
people.
that
The
when I was
Batmobile has
watching
these machine
fucking
guns.
when I was watching Captain America 2 and he like slams someone right off the ship at the beginning of the movie, like, oh, that guy's definitely dead. I was like, this is awesome. Does Captain America have a pussy
Does
code of ethics?
Captain America kill people?
Does Captain America kill people, or does he have a pussy code of ethics like Superman? I don't know. Well, then get the fuck out if you're not gonna help us. If you're not gonna help us, get out!
You don't know, get the fuck out. Wow.
Wow. He's just... But yeah, I fucking... Yeah, the original... The source material of superhero comics is fucking dumb.
Yeah, it just needs to be forgotten about. A lot
Yeah,
of
it
that
needs to be
shit.
thrown in the garbage.
Which
That's-
it usually is.
Again,
A lot of these movies just ignore the source
that
material.
that is what Marvel has been getting right, is that they take the source material and they throw it in the fucking garbage and just do whatever the fuck they want. And it works for them, and they... I don't know if that's what they're doing or not for the fucking Batman v Superman, because you could say that they're throwing the source material in the garbage too for Batman vs Superman, but they're just not doing it right anyway, so I don't think it matters. It's just fucking botched and it's stupid. What is this?
Oh, I gotta run for now.
Alright,
Well,
yeah.
might as well-
Well, we
yeah, my fucking
covered
back
the
hurts.
movie.
My back hurts.
Yeah, we covered the movie at least.
That's
So,
Kenyatta,
where the
'cause
fuck
acting up
were you
again.
anyways? You were fucking gone
Where
for like
the
3
fuck were you?
weeks.
Oh, shit, we got
What, who,
electrocuted.
me?
Yes.
Oh, I've just been working.
Drawing fucking hot animal dudes.
Hot animal dudes.
That guy looks just like a fucking hot animal. Or the animal looks just like a hot guy. We better have sex with it.
We better have sex with each other.
Yes, but fucking but although to credit, fucking werewolves are not furry. Actually, werewolves are just cool.
Totally just
And
legitimate.
either a taurens are not actually furry either, by the way. So that doesn't qualify. It's not, and it's not gay either.
It's never gay
They're
if a
also
Tauren
not
fucks
World
a
of
werewolf.
Warcraft characters
It's
either.
yes, they're yeah, and it's not even gay if they're naked, because it's like, they're just taurens. They're totally badass.
Who
fucking
wouldn't wanna
werewolves,
see
too.
Giant Tauren
Shit.
cock.
Giant tauren cocks just flapping around, slapping people in the face. There's nothing. That's not even.
Slapping so hard with 9 inches of lip dick.
And it's not.
Fucking
It's
just
not even close.
shatters
It's not
her
gay.
jaw.
I've
Shatters a
never-
woman's jaw.
I've never erased somebody's sexuality before, but now that I've done it, I have to say it feels pretty good. I've never othered somebody so bad before, but I can see the appeal. Shit, what the fuck am I falling into?
I'm gonna other Zack Snyder. He's the other.
It should be other. Yeah, that movie. One of the. I'm really surprised, mostly because it really could have been good. They could have done something good
That's
with
the thing is,
at
with
least
Man
a
of-
little bit.
With Man of Steel, they had to be careful, but it could have been good. With fucking Batman versus Superman, they had to be more careful. It could have been better. In both cases, just gets worse and worse.
Just retarded. Yeah, it was just fucking. It was mind-numbingly idiotic when fucking just from that first minute.
Oh, and that dream sequence. We didn't even mention the dream sequence.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get into that dream where fucking the Flash uses his dream powers. Suddenly the Flash has dream powers of time travel to show one of the biggest, longest, most unnecessary dream sequences in a movie full of 20 dream sequences and fake outs and fucking other shit.
Well, it's too late now. I gotta go.
Alright, see you
I gotta
later.
Bye.
fucking get out of this chair. My ass
My
hurts.
throat is
All right,
raw
I'm
right now.
stopping, I'm stopping the show.
Alright.